Something came in the mail today. Oh, let's see what it is. It's the sail. I was considering making a sail, but after almost 3 years, I gave up and decided I'd just buy one. I may still make a sail later, just for the experience of it. I wanted to make a junk sail. As you can see at the start of each video, I just got so worn down by the whole process that I decided, best to just get sailing. Let's have a look here. Tan, no buttons, SCAMP mainsail with 3 reefs and white insignia. I got the plastic off, and here she is, all wrapped up. Got some sail ties as well. I want to open it up, but also I don't, because I'm going to have to wrap it back up again. Well, there she is. So we got this old mast here, which was from another type of boat. It was in my uncle's shed and he generously donated it to the project. I was thinking I was going to try and make the mast out of it, but I didn't think there'd be enough meat in it. Because a lot of the mast here has this channel cut for the bolt rope of the sail. Really, there's only about that much in it. So I didn't think I'd be able to get the requisite number of staves out of it for the mast. That being said, there's definitely enough meat in it for the yard or the boom, or potentially both of them. I think these bits are glued on as well. They must be, but I'm just going to get the chisel out and just see if maybe I can pop it off. Kinda? Well, the result of that experiment is no. So I'm not going to do that. I thought this was a nice dark wood, but actually it looks like it's maybe just some kind of lighter wood that's been stained. But, that's fine too. It's still good wood, and I'm still going to use it. It's a lot better than this wood up here. It'll be good. That'll do the trick. So I got to try and figure out if this has enough wood for the boom and the yard, or either the boom and the yard. This is 3453 long, and it's 3808. This has a diameter of 45 mil. This is 57 by 38. So we have a total length of just over 5 meters, although not all of it's usable, because about 10 centimeters at that end has a channel cut out of it for a block. 50 millimeters by 50 millimeters. That tapers up to about 70 by 65 maybe, down to just over 50 by 40 at this end. Although, not really, because we have this channel in here, which is not particularly usable. We've definitely got enough for the boom in here. This distance here is over 57 millimeters all the way to here. So that's 3746, and the boom needs to be this length. So there's definitely 50... What does it need to be? Yes, it needs to be 57 by 38. This will be at least 57, maybe 58 millimeters, all the way to the end. And of course we need 38 millimeters of thickness, although the boom tapers at each end, so we've currently got 37 millimeters of thickness, and I took this into account. So this section can very comfortably be the boom. Now, as for the yard, there might be enough pieces, but I'll have to laminate several together. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut out the piece for the boom and then see what pieces I have left to potentially laminate together to make up the yard. Well, I messed up with the boom a little bit. I forgot to check how twisted the piece was, and the answer is reasonably. I thought it was pretty much straight, but it's actually like quite twisted. What I should have done first is what I've done just now. Use the laser beam to draw the lines of a straight edge in this piece, so then I can plane it down to that straight edge and then use that as a reference for the other edges. Problem is, when I do that, this piece is going to end up too small. So I'm going to have to laminate another piece on it after all. Which is a little bit annoying because I was hoping to get the boom out of one piece, and I would have been able to if I had have just verified at the beginning that everything was straight. Well, this is a learning boat, so that's a lesson. Well, here's the boom more or less shaped for now. This section on the end up to here is too thin. You can see it tapers to a real thin edge here. You can see that there's a slide bow in this as well. I got it as good as I could with what I had to work with after I'd messed up. I need to laminate a little piece under here just to thicken it up a bit, and then it should be good. As for the yard, I definitely don't have enough left to make it as it is. I got this section here. So the yard has to be 45 millimeters in diameter and round, and 3.5 odd meters long. This is definitely not enough. And then I just have a couple of slivers like this cut off the mast as well. Not enough. Also, I was considering, the mast was fun-ish to make, so I thought, hey, maybe I could do another bird's mouth spar construction. Give it another go, since the mast worked pretty well. Also, Christine DeMerchant, whose blog I've used a lot as a reference, she did her yard in a bird's mouth construction, and one of the reasons she gave was that it was a relatively easy way to get a more or less straight spar out of a bunch of smaller pieces. That's kind of what I found with the mast. Considering the imperfections of the wood that went into it, they sort of all kind of cancel each other out and form a more or less straight spar when you pull them all together. So I was thinking I could cut up the rest of this mast and then use some of this wood that I've cut out of that old bed. And I went online and I found a bird's mouth spar calculator from somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it was from, but if you're interested in using it, it was here. With that, I calculated that if I used 18 millimeter square staves, I'd get an outer diameter of about 46 or 47 millimeters and an inner diameter of about 10 millimeters. So I'll go ahead and rip a bunch of 18 by 18 staves and see how we go. Got all the staves for the yard, all arranged. They've got their joints cut too. I decided just to go with a lap joint, so it should be plenty strong enough, and it's a lot easier to do. And over here we have the extra bits for the boom to correct that little error that I did. Had some bits that I cut off. Now I'm gluing them back on. All that's wanting now is a marathon epoxy session, and we'll get these all glued up. All glued up and ready for planing. So I wasn't really happy with the technique that I used to cut the V-grooves in the staves for the mast. The precision wasn't very good. It was difficult to keep the router on track, and it was difficult to keep it level on top of the staves because they were so thin. So I've broken out the router table, which is probably what I should have done before, but the staves were so long that I don't think I would have been able to run them through the router table. But these are shorter, even though they're still quite long. I think we should be able to run them through. I've got the V-groove bit in the router. I've got the fence set correctly. I've done a test run on this piece. There's a little bit of vibration in there because it's a bit hard to control when you got such a small piece. Got these little things to hold it in place. It's just feeding it through. Doing a test run with a longer piece here. Well, I think I got it pretty much dialed in now. Got this one here that's keeping it down to the router. It wants to jerk around a lot, but these three things keep it steady. And we get dust extraction as well. That's nice. Well, I think that went much more smoothly than last time. Thanks, routing table. Let's see how these fellas fit together into a cylinder. Cable ties. Good idea to get them together temporarily, and you can put other stuff on afterwards. So I'll just put this one on. I should be able to slide it down the other end. Well, I think the yard has gone together much easier and better than the mast, actually. I guess there's a lot to be said about practice makes perfect.